We start by praying for some brothers who are having COVID. May Allah give them shifa, and may Allah protect all of us. And let's take care of this, inshallah, and try to be caution. Inshallah, if you are not feeling good, please don't come and pray at home. Allah will reward you for that, inshallah. And also one brother, his cousin passed away. May Allah give them rahmah, inshallah. Ameen. So we are still talking about the Muslim individual. And the Muslim individual in summary, because we've been talking a lot, let me put it in very brief things. Two things are needed from you. And may Allah help you and help us. And this is the project of the life until they put you in the grave. And these two things, number one, أن تكون صالحا. يعني you reform yourself. And you reform yourself through Iman and Islam. And number two, أن تكون مصلحا. That you reform others. And that's what we call أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. And subhanallah, these three things, we say them now in 1 minute, but it's a life project. You need to know these things in detail. How to have an iman without shirk, without this, without that. You need knowledge. And how to practice Islam, you need knowledge. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, مَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. If Allah intends good for you, He will give you the fiqh. What does mean fiqh? Understanding of the deen. Because the scholar said, whosoever acts without knowledge, he will do more harm than benefit. And please, this is a very, very important. And the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْزِعُ الْعِلْمَ انْتِزَاعًا. Allah will not take knowledge from the earth. Knowledge will be there. And this is something very important. This golden advice from the Prophet. But how knowledge is taken away? By the death of scholars. So without scholar, even the information is there. Information does not give you knowledge. You need somebody. You need somebody, a teacher. Because Imam al-Ghazali said, من كان الكتاب شيخه. If the book is your sheikh, you just take from the book. Shaitan will be his sheikh. Because the book doesn't speak. The book doesn't answer your question. The book doesn't answer the things that might not be understood. And subhanallah, as I told you last time, we know about Iman, but Islam, most of us, we know just the five pillars. No. Islam, subhanallah, let me tell you, how many books in Islam? And each book might have many chapters. So the first book in Islam is which book? Kitabu. Huh? Huh? I can't hear you. The first book in the fiqh is what? Salah. But before Salah, Tahara. Kitabu Tahara. The book of purification. And this book has 9 chapters. Yeah. So you need to know these things. It's not an option. Because you need to pray. So you need to know how to make tahara. Because if the tahara is invalid, the prayer is invalid. Then the second book is the book of the prayers. 17 chapter. We're going to end up and tell me the math at the end. And number 3, Kitabul Janaiz, the book of funerals. Number 4, Kitabul Zakat, the book of Zakat, 3 chapters. The number 5, the book of fasting, mashallah. And number 6, Hajj, 6 chapters. Then after the pillars comes what? Business transaction. Yani buying, selling, this and that. Why? Because the other chapter that's going to come is what? Zawaj, marriage, mashallah Yusuf, may Allah give you the best wife. See, I mean, because you cannot get married unless you make money. So Islam wants you to know how to, if you are involved in a business, it's haram for you to do business unless you know what is halal and what is haram. Otherwise, you might fall into riba. You might fall into things that's not correct. And the business transaction, Kitabul Buyu', 22 chapters. 22 chapters. Then comes after that the book of marriage, Kitabul Nikah. Kitabul Nikah, we are talking about 14 chapters. Then comes the book of offenses, Al-Jinayat, 4 chapters. Then comes Kitabul Hudud, prescribed penalties, 5 chapters. Then come the book of Jihad, 2 chapters. Then the book of food, Kitabul At'ima. You're gonna eat, okay, what is halal, what is haram? 3 chapters. Kitabul Aymani wal Nudhur, vows and oaths. Then Kitabul Qada, judgment. Then the 15 doesn't apply to us, Kitabul Itq, emancipation, yani to free slaves and so on. It doesn't apply. Look how many. We are talking then 100 chapters that the Muslim should know. Maybe some of it might not apply to you. If you are poor and you don't involve in business, maybe you don't have to know. But you have to know this stuff. And as I said, that's why we need to know these things, inshallah. And the more you know, you're going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the correct way. That's why the hadith of Jibreel asked him about what? 4 things. Even the number 4 is from number 1. But, and we said, sometimes you mention something, even though it belongs to a general, to tell you this is very important, pay attention. So he asked him about what? Iman. Then he told him the 6 pillars. And he asked him about Islam. And he told him only the pillars, but he didn't say the others. Then he asked him about Al-Ihsan. Al-Ihsan means the perfection of the ibadah. And subhanallah, I was praying, wallah, I got scared. Imagine that the Prophet said, he said, when he defined Al-Ihsan, you worship Allah as if you see Him. Imagine you are seeing Allah, how are you going to pray? Imagine you are seeing Allah, how are you going to deal in business? Can you cheat? Can you? Imagine that you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how are you going to treat your spouse and children and so on? Then the Prophet says, what is might come in our mind? Well, I cannot see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the answer what? فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. He sees you and He sees me. So that gives you the perfection of this. So when you do these 2 things, you strengthen your Iman and your Islam, then you move to the 3rd one, which is to make others better, like you. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, لا يؤمن أحدكم, and none of you will be a true believer until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And there is nothing that we love for ourselves more than this hidayah. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us blessings left and right. The blessing of the sight, the blessing of the health, the blessing of this, the blessing of this. But all these blessings, by death, they will come to an end. The only blessing that will go with you after death is what? The hidayah, the guidance. It will determine your future in the akhirah. So that's why we want to give it to everybody, inshallah. Al-amr bil-ma'ruf, wal-nahy al-munkar, wal-da'wah. And that's what makes you muslih. And Allah promised the people that they are going to be saved from punishment in this earth, not the salihin, but al-muslihin. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ وَأَهْلُهَا مُصْلِحُونَ. And subhanallah, if the punishment comes, and the punishment can come, may Allah save us. It takes the salihin, those who are good in themselves, but they don't enjoy what is good and forbid what is wrong. And Sayyidah Aisha asked the Prophet this question. She said, Ya Rasulullah, أَنُهْلَكُ وَفِينَا الصَّالِحُونَ? We are going to perish and to be punished and to be this and that. And among us there is salihin, good people. He said, yes. إِذَا كَثُرَ الْخَبَث. When the munkar is everywhere, but the salihin, they are not speaking. They are not. And the hadith, the other one, he said that there is an army coming to invade the Kaaba. And Allah will what? Cause an earthquake to swallow them. Then Sayyidah Aisha, she told him, Ya Rasulullah, but there are salihin amongst them. It doesn't make any difference. So this muslihin, and don't think this is impossible. Allah will save you. And we know the story of Bani Israel, that when they were told not to fish on Saturday, you know what they did? Always when people doing something wrong, the society is divided into 3 groups. One group does the wrong, and the other 2 groups are what? The one who wants to change that, and the third one who? Not, yeah, there is no hope. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? Then the active people, may Allah make us among them, he said, we are doing what we have to do regardless of the result. قَالُوا مَعْذِرَةً إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ. On the day of judgment, Allah will ask me, I said, I did my best. And maybe there will be some change. قَالُوا مَعْذِرَةً إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ أَنْجَيْنَا الَّذِينَ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ السُّوءِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, we save those who enjoy what is good and forbid what is wrong, and we destroy the wrongdoers. But subhanAllah, something interesting here, Allah didn't mention the third groups, those silent ones. Some scholars said because he ignoring them, it's a punishment, just not to mention them. And some of them, they said, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, depends if they have excuse or whatever and so on. And this enjoining al-amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar has fiqh also. Has fiqh. You cannot just go and do what you think, because you might cause more harm than benefit. Sometimes it's haram for you to enjoy what is good and forbid what is wrong. Why? If it's going to lead to what? A worse munkar, something worse. So you have to know these things and what to do. That's why you need the fiqh and the experience, inshallah. And the last thing, because I left it to the last, that he can stay with you. One of the tricks of shaitan, he will tell you, you don't enjoy what is good and forbid until you fix yourself. It doesn't work this way. They go together. I'm working on myself and working on others. Because if you're going to wait until you fix yourself, you're going to spend the whole life and still you need to work on yourself. So I am working on myself, on the same time I'm inviting others. Even if sometimes you are not doing something good, you should invite others to that good. And don't think this is hypocrisy. This is one of the tricks of shaitan. Because shaitan, instead of doing one mistake, he wants you to do 2. I am not doing it, the good, and he doesn't want me to tell others. So you see how much we need this fiqh, inshallah. So next time, inshallah, we're going to start. I was planning to talk about the prayer, because a lot of brothers, they are asking about that and so on. Because the prayer is the first one in Islam, subhanallah. And if it's sound, everything after it will be fine, inshallah. And may Allah help us And may Allah strengthen our deen and strengthen our dunya and strengthen our akhirah. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.